One of the things that I'm fascinated by is humans' capacity to think humans are bad at scale. This is where media and information and the way the world works fascinates me. Humans are stunningly amazing. Of the 8 billion people that roam this earth, it is stunning how many are remarkable to at least neutral. Yet we are infatuated with paying attention to the 1% of the 1% of the 1% that are not. The fuel of my ambition is like this beautiful mix of gratitude and even like micro guilt. It comes from such a place of like, I'm so happy and like so many people aren't. Very inspired on a daily basis while I'm doing my thing to figure out ways to say something and change the perspective in some way that might help someone start to achieve more happiness. The other big revelation for me as I go through my journey is how many people's ambition is completely fueled by insecurity. And I actually think that's a problem. It's not sustainable. When you're able to use that to amass dollars, money doesn't change you, money exposes you. So if you're in a bad place and you like wanted to prove everyone wrong and then you got the money, then you're gonna spend that money on dumb shit.
What makes you happy?
Leaving an impact on the world makes me very happy. I live a life where more than 1,000 people a day reach out to me and say thank you for something they didn't buy for me or I sold them, and that feels incredible. I love spending time with friends and family. Really love garage sailing. How excited I am that it's like early March because I'm like, couple more weeks. There was a time and place where my content was like, hey, I worked for 12 years at my dad's liquor store. I never made a lot of money, but I lived within my means, so I was able to have some savings. Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr came along and I invested that money into it. You can too. And then I started getting emails like, I don't $25,000 to invest in a startup. And I started getting enough of that I was like, good, fine. I'll just go further back in my journey and I'll show you what I did when I had $0 and 0 cents. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and went garage sailing, especially when eBay first came out. No different than the way I talk about social media creative, which is like when there's a new platform that has enough attention on it, there's not enough content for it. So if you go there heavily and aggressively and you post organically, you're gonna get a lot more organic reach for no cost, and that's a land grab of attention. And because social is where so much of society is playing out, this is very important. Well, the same thing happened with Internet 1.0. So few people knew what was going on eBay. There was more people searching for stuff to buy because it was the first time collectors in the late 90s could find Pez dispensers or video games or comic books, not going to a big show or a store. There wasn't as many people listing them, so everything was super valuable. Like you could make $1,000 garage selling with 80 bucks every single Saturday if you were willing to put in the work. Obviously that market evolved, but it's still very true. I still believe that the biggest opportunity for somebody who has $500 is to buy and sell things in the arbitrage of the way society works between Poshmark, thrift store, and Craigslist at a garage sale and eBay. And so I got motivated to make that content.
I think that's a really important thing to kind of tailor your content basically to popular culture.
I think it's a massive misstep of most people that they're not taking advantage of the emotion behind popular culture and integrating it. Look at how I popped. Wine Library TV is how I hit the scene 17 years ago. I did a wine show on YouTube the day YouTube basically came out. It worked because while I was doing the wine tasting, I was referencing what was happening in the world. People are not winning on relevance. People are trying to sell shit instead of build emotion. Popular culture is one of the pillars of our emotion. Human truths and popular culture. It's only hard mentally, you just haven't decided that's the most important thing your business does. It is the most important thing.
It is.
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Creating demand and consideration for your business is always the most important thing. If you are able to grow top line revenue in perpetuity, you always have the ability to fix ops and costs. It's actually very easy. If you told me everybody here does from 1 million to 100 million in revenue, it's super easy. They're just taking too much money home to buy things. The most important thing might be to sell your business and go sailing. It might be. But if we're talking next level, like you're in business and you're about that life, well, I would argue there's nothing one can tell me here that is gonna get me more excited than having them completely commit to creating demand.
You built a machine at VaynerMedia. What were some of the pivotal decisions that you made that you believe impacted how VaynerMedia is what it is today?
Trying to make no profit for as long as possible. So Vayner started in 09. First 2 years, AJ really ran it. I still had to run the business, plus I wrote Crush It. And the whole time, we poured all the money back into business. The pivotal decision was feeding the business, not my ego, or my bank account, or my vices.